three major mistakes landlords with multiple properties are making in Knoxville, Tennessee. Number one is understanding your product. What type of asset do you own? Do you own A class, like the ones behind me, B class, or C class? Because the number one out of the three things that we're going to talk on right now is actually proper tenant screening. We all want awesome tenants, 800 credit score, 5 times income, no evictions, no criminal history, and want to sign a 20-year lease that auto renews at 3% increase annually. That would be the perfect tenant. And maybe not even move into the house and just pay rent and don't move in, right? But the reality is we have to meet our customer in the marketplace and be able to find that right person, right family, right roommate, right person, like I said, to move in that are going to pay rent, maintain the property well, and continue to stay and pay increased rent as the years go on. And so tenant screening is a major problem right now. We have landlords that are not focusing on the right variables, whether that means that they're being too critical in certain areas or not critical enough. It's not just credit, it's also collections. It's also what are the collections for? And when it really comes down to your asset, you need to know the reality of who is likely to be the one living in the unit versus who you wish to be living in the unit. Mistake number one, improperly screening tenants. And what do I mean by that? Not knowing how to understand what a credit score is and what it means. These are things that if you don't know how to understand, there are so many variables with an application with regards to criminal record, evictions, credit, income. Then there's so many sand traps in all of those. With evictions, you assume that if they do not have an eviction on their record, they've never skipped out on rent, which is just completely not true. People get plea bargains all the time with landlords saying, if you get out, I won't file it and you can find another place. With income, they might make 3 times income, but their proof of income might be 3 years old, or they've only been making it for a week now. And with criminal record, you might have a traffic violation and it's not violent crime. So when it comes down to screening, you have to know the details. You also need to know what's realistic for your asset. You can't assume C class is going to get somebody that could qualify for a $500,000 house and buy it. Those products and customers don't match. Mistake number two, being too slow on maintenance. If you have tenants, you need to start calling them customers. I oftentimes tell my own team that. If they just call them tenants, it's almost like a negative derogatory term. And so when we start not focusing on customer service, I force our team to call them customers. And with that, customer service in maintenance means fast responses. And mistake number three as a landlord with multiple properties, it's simply not keeping up with bookkeeping and not having the software to be able to accurately record an income statement for the property. With tenants paying late, tenants paying early, you start to see cash flow not be as predictable as you once thought it would be, where you'd see rent on the first every month. So if you're making these three major mistakes in maintenance, bookkeeping, and screening tenants, you're probably not going to make it in the marketplace because there are tons of options behind us in Knoxville, Tennessee for these tenants to apply for. And right now, more than ever, people are seeing 5 to 6 properties before they're signing the lease and choosing your product, AKA your rental. Which one of these mistakes caught you off guard? Comment below. I appreciate you stopping in, watching the video. Rent is due. Also, part 2 coming your way. Click right here, watch it now.